Hey, what's up guys? So recently Joe and Anthony Russo were doing an interview for Avengers Infinity War, and in the interview they were explaining how Avengers would be a smash and grab heist film and that Thanos is trying to get the stones as quickly as possible before word gets out that he's trying to collect the stones and the forces of the universe try to stop him. So this begs a lot of questions like, who is Thanos rushing for? Are they just talking about the simple galactic forces like the Nova Force or the Kree Empire, who no doubt are going to get wrecked in this movie by a non-Infinity Stone wielding Thanos? So I don't think he's really worrying about that, but is it something way greater that they're talking about? And if so, who is Thanos worried about enough to rush, and who does he possibly fear in the MCU right now, even with most of the stones in the Infinity Gauntlet? So I'm gonna give you guys my ideas on who I think Thanos is actually rushing for and who he possibly fears in the MCU, and why I think we'll actually get to see them in Avengers Infinity War. But before we get into that, if you are subscribed, make sure to turn on your notifications to keep up with all my latest uploads. And if you are new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing if you do like this video and you want to see more. So let's get right into this. So apart from the total long shot, which I wish we would be able to see in this movie, but they are still technically Fox's until summer of 2019, unless an agreement has been made or has been secretly made, we can rule out the World Eater Galactus and his Herald the Silver Surfer, which sucks, but all in due time guys, we will see these badasses in the MCU sooner rather than later, so I personally can't wait for that, as you guys already know. But so far in the MCU, we've seen and had hints of a handful of cosmic level beings that could definitely give Thanos a run for his money. So the first being would have to be Dormammu. He's an insanely powerful character versed in dark magic, but honestly, if Thanos manages to kick Doctor Strange's ass, and Doctor Strange could hold up Dormammu, so I don't think Dormammu is making Thanos sweat at all. And if Doctor Strange could kick his ass with one Infinity Stone and Thanos potentially gets all of them, Dormammu is just gonna get wrecked. So I think we can rule that one out first out of the list of cosmic beings that we have seen. We know Celestials exist in the MCU thanks to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. We saw that little clip of Aeson the Searcher destroying some planet, and we got to see the floating celestial head in space, now known as Nowhere, where the Collector lives. And I think a cool theory out there is that Thanos was actually the one who destroyed that celestial and cut off his head, which I think would be cool if that actually did happen. Like if the Collector referenced that when he was being interrogated by Thanos, and that's why he fears him so much, because he knows that this dude literally cut off the head from the celestial that I have my shop at. So I think that'd be a cool little like thing right there. Not necessarily saying that's gonna happen, but as far as seeing the Celestials, I think we will definitely see them in Infinity War. But as for them actually making Thanos fear them, I don't think Thanos fears the Celestials at all. I think he can mop the floor with them, especially with the stones that he does have currently, and maybe even possibly without the stones, honestly. So I'm gonna say one of the beings that I think could actually hold their own against Thanos, even with a full gauntlet, would have to be Eternity. Now, if you don't know who Eternity is, he's basically a dude whose body is made of space, the whole entire universe. He's basically the embodiment of the universe and the multiverse, and he's just a crazy powerful cosmic entity, and he and Thanos have gone back and forth in the comics, and I definitely think that Eternity could hold his own against Thanos. And we got that tease of Eternity in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 when Peter is all like galaxies in his eyes and stuff, and he says Eternity. So even though that's a very small thing that people are mixed about, I'm pretty sure if there is a James Gunn movie, he just uses the word Eternity in it. A word like that in the MCU does not just mean nothing. So I'm going to take that as a literal Eternity reference, and I'm gonna say that Thanos, although he might be worried about Eternity, I don't think he exactly fears him, especially with a full gauntlet. I think that he's just basically an opponent that he knows could bring him some trouble at that level. Now, somebody that I think could totally obliterate Thanos from the equation, and who Thanos more than likely will be the one fearing, is the Living Tribunal. The second most powerful being in the Marvel Universe, only second to the one above all. Now, we got an extremely brief mention of him in Doctor Strange by Baron Mordo, but I do believe that wasn't just for nothing. Kevin Feige said that every little thing that they've ever teased will be answered in Infinity War. Now, I'm not so sure if the Living Tribunal is going to make an appearance in Infinity War. I honestly think that if he does get shown, which I do believe he will be shown in the MCU before Phase 4 begins, but I do believe that if he does make an appearance, appearance, it'll be in Avengers 4, because in this movie, Thanos is trying to bring a balance to the universe, and the Living Tribunal usually comes out when there is an imbalance. So I think definitely in Avengers 4, Thanos will be tipping the scales, and that will be enough to bring the Living Tribunal out. Unless he does make an appearance in Infinity War, which, you know, I'm crossing my fingers that he does, because I would love to see more cosmic weirdness go on in the MCU sooner rather than later. But if we do see the Living Tribunal in Infinity War, then that, I think, no doubt, is who Thanos actually fears in the MCU. That's the only person that could mop the floor with him, even with a full Infinity Gauntlet. But who I ultimately think out of the list of cosmic beings that we have had mention of in the MCU will appear in Avengers Infinity War would have to be Uatu the Watcher. We got an amazing glimpse of him in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and just seeing him in the theater that day, I freaked out. It just took me back to playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance when I was a little kid, and I just remember those beautiful cinematics of him, like just seeing this huge baby-headed motherfucker that's like this cosmic badass that just can do whatever he basically wants to. That back then was just like so awesome, and just seeing him now, it's just amazing. I can't wait. And I do believe James Gunn mentioned that those characters that Rocket, Groot, and Yondu, you know, when they're jumping around in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, will pop up in future MCU movies. So I think that Uatu would be the most likely character to pop up, especially in Infinity War. And even though the Watchers are extremely hesitant to interfere with any human or mortal affairs, they have been known to break their rules on several occasions, and I think it would be awesome if Thanos mops the floor with all the Avengers and we just see Uatu save them, maybe take them away like how it was in one of those cinematics back in Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Like, if that happened, I would go crazy. I would yell in the theater in somebody's ear really bad. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think of my ideas here, or who you think out of all of them is most likely gonna pop out, or if you don't think any of them will pop out and I'm just crazy, please let me know. I love hearing your guys' feedback, and let me know your crazy theories of who you think will pop up and who you think that the Russo brothers were talking about in this interview, and if you think anybody is making Thanos worried at all. And of course, if I missed anything or got anything wrong, please let me know. So yeah, guys, if you did like the video, leave me a thumbs up, comment down below, and if you want, subscribe. I always appreciate it. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.